Hello, everybody. I am your host, Henry Galliett, and welcome back to Galliett Reviews. This week, we take a look at the Netflix original film Mank, directed by David Fincher, and this movie is phenomenal. I think it's probably one of my top five films of last year, and part of the reason why that is because of David Fincher's directing, and that's mainly because this feels like such a personal story to him because he has worked in Hollywood for such a long time, and this is actually written by his own father, who died, I think, a couple years ago. But yeah, this movie works on all cylinders, and again, most of that is all thanks to David Fincher as well as the performers. So, a little heads up, you actually need to know a lot about Citizen Kane to get this movie because it kind of chronicles the origins of the film Citizen Kane, sort of like George Orson Welles' like rise to Hollywood, and also like his screenwriter buddy Mank, and they're kind of clashing with each other to see like who gets actual credit for the film, for the writing of the script and stuff like that. And it's not really clear like who does get it at the end, but like it is a very insightful journey of how it got made, and it very much of like if you're like a big film fan, you're gonna absolutely love this movie. But if you're not, probably not so much. But since I am a big film lover, I absolutely ate this movie up, and part of why it works so well again is also like due to it's very much a love letter to 1930s Hollywood, and it sort of reminded me of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where that kind of like references 1960s Hollywood. And it's more of a love letter to that era. This one kind of like goes to a later thing, and it kind of shows up the filmmaking because it's shot in black and white. There's actually some pretty fun film grade stuff here and there, and a lot of background stuff is actually like sort of homages to like old set designs like that, near the end in the garden. It was sort of walking around in that backyard zoo. Like it really looked really beautiful, and it didn't have an inch of color. So that was very fascinating to me, and it really worked very well for the film. So yeah, the performances. Gary Oldman does a phenomenal job as Mank. The Orson Welles performer, I'm forgetting his name. He did a pretty good job as well. He actually like looked exactly like Orson Welles at the time. But the one that really stole the show for me was Amanda Seyfried, who's been in a couple of like okay comedies, but here she brings her all for this like actress role, and she does a phenomenal job in the film. And yeah, she's great in the movie. So yeah, the movie is a phenomenal film if you're a film fan, but if you're not, probably stick away from it. But again, it worked for me on all cylinders. So out of 10, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Please go check it out because you'll learn something out of it. So yeah, that's my review of Mank. Come back here for more reviews because there's going to be a bunch of them. Thanks and goodbye.